Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast where we try to figure it all out with your hosts, Brandon and Colin. On this week's show, oops, all allusions. I don't know what this says about me, but I had a dream last night where we were recording this conversation and it was my turn to do the haiku at the end. And I didn't have a haiku. And I woke up panicking.
Well, luckily, it's my turn. And I do have one.
Okay.
So fear not. Right. Fear not.
Fears assuaged for now. So,
yes. Yeah. First ever live haiku writing. Next.
No, seriously, in my dream, that's what it was. I was like, towards the end of the conversation, I just started to like vamp more and more. And you were like, well, I gotta go. And I was like, yeah, but we're all good now. Everything's fine.
So not too dissimilar from normal, if we're completely honest.
Exactly.
You know, it's fine.
And my computer's so confused. It's trying to switch between all things. It's switched into work mode the same time it switched into sleep mode because it's later.
That's confusing.
I know. My computer tries to help me avoid things, but it does a very, very bad job because I don't have a set schedule. Maybe if I had a set schedule, it would work. But because I don't, it doesn't. And so it just gets confused and angry at me. So it tries.
Can you turn off this feature? Like, just stop. Just don't even try.
No,
just don't worry about it.
It acts as a good like reminder to me, at least, of like, hey, I know you're working, but just remember it's late. So like stay aware, because otherwise I just won't. So I have to stay focused.
I want you to reprogram the warning sign. Because when you said be aware, the only thing I could think of were those signs that say be bear aware.
Be bear aware.
Right? Like that's what I was.
Oh, like, wouldn't that be weird?
Like, what?
Yeah. Bear aware. Things have gone horribly wrong. Computer, tell me more.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
just
that'd be hilarious.
Whenever you're working too late, a bear just comes. It's like the sleepy time bear, right?
Oh, okay, that's cute.
But it's still like scolding you, like, I thought we talked about going to sleep. You're like, no, wait. It's like just like shoves tea at you.
Right.
Listen, no.
Put on this hat and slippers.
Yeah, this little nightcap.
Exactly. Well, I can't do anything, I guess, so I'll just accept this and
accept the tea from the bear.
Yep.
And just go about my merry way.
Deny the bear, right? It's you're not pushing back on that. That's not a conversation you're gonna have. Of course you're gonna argue.
You can argue with a bear?
Yes.
No, you're not. That's how it works.
It's not how any of this works, that's for sure.
No.
So yeah.
I say as I casually take a sip of this chamomile tea that I have here conveniently.
Yum.
Delicious.
Oh, so between that and me signing into LinkedIn for the first time in a long time, today's been a lot of fun.
Well, that's an adventure, right? LinkedIn sends me emails like I care about it. But like it was like a mandatory thing. Like I had to make a LinkedIn thing for one of my college classes or whatever.
Oh, what?
And so it's like, because they're like a professional or whatever. But
sure.
But like, I just had to do it enough to show that I was doing it. Right. So I really have like half of a LinkedIn profile.
Sure.
Right. I think I follow you and that's it.
Oh.
And then like But there's like, no, it's like the least professional thing ever. Like, is there a picture? No. Did I finish all the steps for like doing all the things that LinkedIn wants me to do?
Yeah.
No.
Not at all.
Does LinkedIn send me 7,000 emails a day like it's something that I care about?
Right.
It tries to, but I'm not interested. Hey, LinkedIn, I don't know what you're doing, but stop.
Mine, my goodness, mine is really, I get the weird marketing messages from them, right? Like, you have a new message on LinkedIn. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's not like really a message. Yeah.
No. It's just a paid advertisement, right? Of like somebody paid to get access to this.
I also get the ones that are like, because I signed up and I like have Missouri State as my thing because I did it in college, right? It just sends me all kinds of like weird Missouri State updates. Like, did you know? Like, what? So between weird LinkedIn emails and the 7,000 alumni mails that they send you per week, not per week, they're not quite so bad, but every once in a while I just get one. I'm like, what? What is that? What?
Yeah. I get weird stuff. I went through I'm going through a process of unsubscribing to as much emails as I possibly can. And I don't know when this started to become a thing. Like, I always knew this happened, but it seems like it's happening even more, where you typically, what the time was, you would go and you'd unsubscribe from an email, and then you'd hit unsubscribe. It would take you to a web page and be like, why do you want to unsubscribe? Blah blah blah. And you click a button, you click yes, submit, and then it would say, sorry to see you go. Right now, what's happening is you go through that process, and then you get an email from the company that you just unsubscribed from, saying,
like, wait, we talked about this. What do you do?
You've unsubscribed. Sorry to see you go. Click this button if it was on accident.
How are you going to click through 7 steps on accident?
And I'm like,
right?
look,
Like, what is that?
I had to scroll like 7 mouse wheel flings to get to the bottom. I had to discern the color background on the footer and the unsubscribe text are just one hexagon, hex code off from one another, like just by one button. And like, I had to discern what that was. I had to zoom in, select all so I could actually see what was there, and then click that button, and then go through 3 more steps of entering, confirming who I was, selecting all the check boxes that I didn't even know I was signed up for from you in the first place, and then click submit. What do you mean if I did this by accident? Like, how? This is terrible. And all the more reason for me to rid you from my life, because you never like respected me in the first place. And I take this as a personal affront, which I shouldn't, because it's ridiculous, but I still do. So
yeah. I don't really care too much about my like personal email address, because I just like, whatever. I just delete them. And I don't really care. Right. Google does a pretty good job of filtering the like promotion emails and all that stuff. Right. So like most of them just go to that like weird folder, and I don't ever really have to look at them,
Yeah.
So that's okay. But like the one where it's the big problem is my school email. Right. Because if you ever entered your email ever for a teacher thing ever, you get like 700,000 emails that are like from like companies, like curriculum companies, or like things about like lessons or whatever. And I'm just like, what is this? Go away. I don't want.
Right. Oh, wow.
Like what on earth is this nonsense? Like, get out of here. There's like so much noise. I'm like, where did this come from? Like, they like, it's maddening, right? It's like so much stuff.
It's genuinely terrible. And so I can't even imagine like the amount of stuff that you get pitched, because you probably get pitched all sort of like products or new things to sign up for, or classroom management, whatever,
stuff like that,
right? Like new courses, I'm sure. So
Yes.
that's terrible.
And the worst one, the one that I want to go away the most of all, is our new like grade booky student what was it called? Student information system, the little SAS thing or whatever. It is like, it sends me emails all the time telling me that my lunch balance is 0. Yes, I know. Because I haven't eaten lunch in the cafeteria in like 3 years. So I don't know. But the new system just like takes great pleasure in reminding me that I have $0 in my lunch count, which technically is actually false, because under the old system, there was like 5 emergency dollars in there. And now that $5 is gone. So, hey, school, what happened to my $5? Give me that back. Right? What's up? Kept me a check for that. But I don't
Interesting. But that's weird.
Yeah. They, of course, didn't roll over any monetary value. That's not necessary. So I need to go talk about this. Like, can this stop? Because how do I make it stop sending me these stupid emails like every week telling me that I have no dollars in my lunch account because I never buy lunch?
Right. Well, that means
and I don't want to buy lunch. So stop it.
Well, yeah, and that means that that was stripped away, and they just quietly let that disappear. Or maybe they were like, look, this guy hasn't used this ever, so we're just taking it away entirely. So
yeah,
have to
I'll
live with
annoy him by sending weekly emails telling him that his lunch balance is 0. I don't care.
Yeah, turns out care not at all.
Yeah, I have to pay more money than the students, and I only receive the same amount of food as the students if I buy the lunch.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So this is definitely a non-worthwhile proposition. Like, even though like it's still technically cheaper than like if you were to go like to a restaurant and like buy a food, right? It's not more cheaper than bringing it from your house. So this
really is a convenience fee, right? Like,
yeah, because like the memes are true. School lunch is bad. Like it's really not very exciting, right? Like they try, but when you don't have a good starting place, you can only really climb so high, right? Like it's not. I do not blame the cafeteria workers. This is not their doing. I know this. Okay.
No.
I know this in my heart. So don't think I'm ragging on the cafeteria staff. It's not them. Right. It's the tools they're given to work with.
It's the system.
Yes. It's the system.
As always.
Yeah. It's really Springfield Grocer. If you want to know. Shots fired. It is. Who we get our food from. And there's like a deal, right? Where like if you let Springfield Grocer sort of like make the menu kind of, right? And just sort of like give you stuff, the price is lower. Probably because they're just like getting rid of things. I would imagine that's how this works, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a hypothesis, not 100% certain here, but that's what they get. So the control over the menu is limited, right?
Okay.
They're just like, here you go, have things. And so because it's through like a third party, like it's not like, sometimes it used to be like commodities, right? Where they were just like, here's some cheese and some eggs
Right.
or like
Go
powdered
figure it
eggs,
out.
but like
Right.
eggs. Yeah. And then like go from there. No, it's just like, here's some frozen chicken strips, and here's some frozen this, and here's some frozen that. Right. So it's like,
Aw.
yeah, it's really like, so there's not like an avenue to like design a whole lot of menus around the things, right? You can do some stuff with it, right?
Well, and
But-
that also, I mean, that also makes it more costly, right? Because you're getting
yes,
a step up, a step up in the food chain, right? Of a conglomerated food, which means you can't use that in multiple dishes anymore.
yeah, right. It's not
12
like you're
pounds
getting
of cheese can go
Yeah.
in a lot of different stuff.
It's not like you're getting a potato,
Yeah.
right? You're getting something that you're getting like frozen potato wedges.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Because like when we were in school, me and my friends used to joke that I'm pretty sure our school just got like a dump truck full of potatoes, because like one day would be like baked potato, and then the next day would be like steak fries, and then the next day would be like mashed potatoes. Right? It was like you could almost
Yeah.
sort of map out like, aha, I see what's happening. Right? There was a lot of potato action, but it was just like that. So I don't, yeah. But when you're getting when you are getting only like a frozen bag of French fries, you're sort of stifled into how many different things you can make out of this, right?
Mhm.
You kind of only just like French fries, really, right? That's really it.
Yeah. No, it really
Handcuffed.
does. Yeah, and you can't stretch that. You can't change that
No,
to be more
right?
things.
Yeah, you can't like stretch it to be like, oh, we'll have like, whatever sort of strange concoctions they come up with, right? Like the like weird, like sometimes it's like a vegetable soup and potato, and it's just sort of like meh, like on there, like together, like a mashed potato type situation. But yeah, so yes, all that to say, I am not throwing any shade at any cafeteria workers that may or may not work in the same building as me. But I know they're hampered in their in their ways. But also, I'm not paying for that food. So stop sending me emails, weird student system. Stop it. I don't think I can probably unsubscribe from that email, since it's like
No, that seems like a
part of my
system-wide.
operating system.
Yeah.
I feel like it might shout at me if I tried to do that.
Yeah. No, you were deep in the system there, bud.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know how mad it would be at me. I wonder. Only one way to find. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. So other than that, not really too much happening this week, right? You're sort of like starting the fourth quarter, trying to figure out what's happening. I did manage to escape on Monday from the many, many hours of reading instructional learning that was happening.
Oh,
So I was able to run away from that, because once again, all of our professional development this year is about reading instruction. So they were talking about like the assessments that they give. There's like a program, and there's like these like little assessments that you can give, and they're talking about like reading the results of the assessments and like understanding what that stuff was. And I was sitting over there with the math teacher going, oh no.
Oh no.
Like it was real bad. They were just saying lots of acronyms, and I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't have.
This isn't
But
necessary right now.
Yeah, finally, I was able to run away. So that was nice. I got to flee. I got to do stuff in my class. It was good. I worked on my bookshelf. Right. Again, sort of weeding out these books that are very old. Right.
Sure.
Some of them are definitely school library books from 1986.
Well, I mean,
so they're cool.
Sure.
But are they useful, and will anybody ever read this in my classroom?
See, you're asking some hard questions.
No, they won't. So, sort of culling some things and trying to do that, right? Trying to get rid of some stuff. So I did some of that and just worked on like lesson-y stuff, right? But I did also professionally develop myself, right? I went down this big long rabbit hole, right? And I found this like, I don't even know where, I don't remember the website that this is attached to, right? But it's kind of like it's like this online like book thing, right? Kind of. It's not really a book, but it's sort of set up like a book. It's sort of like, you know how Khan Academy is set up?
Yeah.
Have you ever used that? Where it's like, it's got like the reading, it's got videos and stuff. It's kind of like that, but it's not Khan Academy. It's something else.
Sure.
Right. So it's that format. It's like a learn about a subject in a paced situation, but it's about Near Eastern art history. So,
oh, interesting.
So it was actually kind of cool. I was just reading about, since I teach a lot of Near Eastern cultures, and then there is a follow up part about like Egyptian and stuff. So I was like, ha, we're just gonna read through this every once in a while. So I have it saved on my computer, and I've just been reading and doing some like studying about Near Eastern art, so like Mesopotamian, Sumerian, Akkadian, Babylonian. Don't forget Neo-Babylonian. Oh no, I never want to do that.
No.
Kind of like art history and like art style things that are indicative of each period, like stuff that's like, you know, like important features of the art and like all this kind of stuff. So took away some new insights from some of that. So that was cool. That's what I did mostly this week. Been doing some independent study about art, ancient cultures, art history. Here we go.
Oh,
how fun!
That is fun.
But that's the type of nerdy things that I get up to and left to my own devices, right?
Well, of course.
These are the type of hyper nerd shenanigans that we need to more effectively teach social studies, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it's not all bad, right? Like,
oh no, it's not bad at all. But it is very niche and a bit nerdy. So,
of course.
I mean, right. But, you know, it is at least useful. And these are things that we talk about in class, sort of, right? And, you know, being able to add a little bit more discourse to the conversation, because we do look at some of these things, right? Like the stele of Hammurabi, right? That is a thing that we talk about when we talk about your boy and his code of laws and stuff like that. So having a bit more insight of like what's actually going on in the relief section of this, right, is cool, you know?
Yeah.
That's handy. So that's fun. I really want, what I really wish I had, I gotta see somebody in the school. Somewhere there is a 3D printer, I think. And what I need to figure out is if I can get whoever has that to print me, like 3D print me, like a Sumerian cylinder seal. That's what I want.
Oh, really?
That would be cool.
That's.
I wonder if that's possible. Because that'd be handy, right? But there are these really cool things where like it's You familiar with cylinder seals at all? Or do we
No.
know about this? Okay, so it's like a thing, right? And you would have this seal, and when you were like royal people and like important people had it, and it's a seal that they would use to like as a signature for their important documents, right? But it's a big barrel bead thing, right? So they'd actually wear it, and it would be like metal. Some of them are like silvery, right, and stuff like that. But in relief on the cylinder is like pictures. Sometimes they have inscriptions and writing on them. And so to sign the document on the clay tablet, you literally just put it down and roll it across. And it like puts in relief this series of symbols that's like code for you did it, right? So if you're like your position or whatever indicates like what things can be on there, right? And stuff like that. But there's usually like some, some of them have like mythological creatures and like some of them is like a god, right? So if you're associated with like a temple of a certain god, right, it would be on there. And there's like a little bit of writing on there. And you literally put it down and you roll it. And it like, because it's cut in relief on the thing, it like shows up on the clay. And that is your signature. Which is mega rad, right? Like it's really
do they make modern relief seals? I want one.
I know, yeah. I kind of want one. It's really cool.
I want a relief seal.
That's what they do because they would write because all their stuff was done on clay tablets. Right? You just put it on there and just roll it across. They're really cool.
Okay. Let's okay.
Yeah, it's a big feature of early like Sumerian and Akkadian like cultural things. And they were like really so they would like so it's like a barrel, right? And then there's a hole through the middle of it. So they would just wear it as jewelry. Like you could put it on a necklace, like a lanyard or as a bracelet. And then when you needed to sign stuff, you just take it off and just roll it across.
That's what those were. It's so interesting about how that is an early form of the signet rings, right? And that kind of stuff too. Like that's so it really wild. Huh.
Yeah. It's crazy. They're really cool. But yeah. I think that they're really neat. I really like them. But, can't just like get a hold of a real one. So I think it'd be cool if that was like 3D printable. If some museum or something just had them. Because I know that they have like scans of like tablets and you can like actually 3D print like actual cuneiform tablets because they just have the things available. So I wonder if there was a cylinder seal one out there somewhere you could just like download.
Well, and I'm even thinking, if you did want to do that, you could. I'm trying to figure out like how you could make one like without having to engrave. Like basically, I'm thinking of everybody bring a toilet paper roll, and then you could like.
Oh, that's true.
You could, but then like you could have them, but you'd have to carve in something.
You'd have to like
wrap
cut it out.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Well, I was even thinking of having another sheet of paper, or even like a thin piece of clay that you carve and mold into, and then you wrap that around the cylinder.
That's true.
Or something like that. I don't know what the best
part. Or like a dowel rod. Like a big dowel rod.
Yeah, that'd probably be a bit more a bit sturdier.
Yeah. I don't know how. Yeah. I don't know how that would work. But yeah, because the seal is like it starts smooth and then you cut into it. So when you roll it across, it's like a raised thing on the clay, right? So it would be hard to do with a toilet paper roll because there wouldn't be enough like surface because it's hollow, right? But you would get like the general idea, right? You could like decorate it.
Yeah.
I guess. Just like decorate the outside.
That'd be
with like Sharpie or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like it's the general idea, even if it's not necessarily functional. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't need to actually go around and like say, okay, now you stamp that sheet of paper and you stamp that thing and blah, blah, blah. Like,
that would be cool. But I don't because I do have clay because we do write in cuneiform.
Yeah.
a little bit.
Well, and
They really don't like that. They really mostly just because it's like so hard.
well, there's literally no muscle memory for that as well. It's so bizarre.
And it's so like it's really interesting because they're so like because when you say right, you know, you want to like move something across the surface of something else because that's how we write.
Yeah.
You know? And so when you write cuneiform, you literally just take the stylus and poke it into the clay.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And they want to like move it and like draw the wedge. And I'm like, no, look. If you just poke it, it makes the wedge shape. And they're like, I don't understand what you mean. Like it's such a strange concept, right? They're just like, I don't get it. You're like,
yeah,
poke it.
Just try
but why? Like, trust me.
Do it.
Just do
Don't
it.
worry. Don't worry.
Some of them eventually like figured out, but it's like a mind trip. They're like, what? I don't understand.
Yeah, but like you said, until you are until you're using the right medium to use it, then or to write that way, then like until you do that, the motions, nothing makes sense until you're like, yeah, this is in clay. Remember, like that's hard.
Yeah,
that's
actually have to foreign to it.
Yes,
because otherwise I mean, you can like actually draw all the shapes, but that's like, you know, that takes forever. And it's just really weird. Yeah. When like the medium is so important, you actually have to like poke it, right? Like poke it in there. This little corner. Done. Like I know this popsicle stick is not necessarily a precision engineered writing instrument. But it does kind of work though. So
yeah. Stop complaining. Next. Right.
Eggs. So yeah. So that's what I'm doing. And then today, big lesson of the day, right? I said I've been interspersing more just like story time, right? Where we talk about like mythology of that particular culture, right?
Yeah.
So today we tackled the big one, right? We've started Greek stuff. So we tackled the big one. You know, I mean, technically, kind of one of the most culturally important stories that's ever been written down. The Iliad, right? Tackled that one today.
Yeah, that's gotcha. Okay.
Not maybe as you know, full of intrigue as some of the other ones, but like there's a lot of stabbing. So there's that. But like
sure. Move from poking the clay to stabbing. Yep.
Stabby, right? So yeah, we talked about that one today. That's a very interesting one because they're like, I told him, I was like, you know, it's weird to think about this story probably over at least 2,500 years old, probably more, right? You know the end. Think about it. Like maybe you don't know the beginning bits and all the weird middle stuff. And I gave them the hyper abridged version because again, 15,000 lines of poetry. I'm
a lot.
Going to give them the summary, right? Cliff Notes version, right? But that's you know the end of that, right? Like what? That's wild. Like that's such a culturally relevant thing for like Western culture that you know the end. Still, right? It shows up in like movies. Like all of my kids have seen Peabody and Mr. Sherman, and it's in there, right? They know, right? They've seen it in other movies. Have like jokingly referenced it, or books, or TVs, or whatever. Like you know about the end of this. It's crazy.
Yeah. Just how that it continues to impact. And that's a great way, like you're doing the going, this is how impactful this is and how fundamental this has become as part of our culture. And then it's wild to think about like the time before the Iliad, right? Of like of just that sequence, that setup, that kind of predictability that we see continuing to this day, because it's it's a tropes are there for a reason. You see them over and over and over and over again, and just knowing like, yeah, there was a time when that's not how things progressed in story.
Yeah.
That's not, it
was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's really interesting to watch them like react to this, like see them in real time, be like, what? It's also a good opportunity to talk about like kind of introduce some Greek gods, because they're all about the story, right? I tell them like they're in this a lot. I don't mention everything because it's a lot, but like how different it is from some other ancient cultures, because like again, if we go back to your friends in Sumeria, like their gods are very like hands off, very like go away, leave me alone, don't bother me. Whereas the Greek gods are very like meddlesome, right? They're
very, very concerned,
very like an active participant in daily life. And so it's a good point to talk about that, kind of introduce that idea of like these gods a lot more nosy.
Yeah.
Right. They're a lot more up in everybody's business.
They're around a lot.
Especially Zeus. Anyway, we got
a lot.
So we talked about that. And then we mentioned like you're talking about how like culturally important it is like I told them too, like in language arts class, you have these things called allusions, right? You may have heard of this, where a writer will just sort of like casually refer to something else, expecting you to know what they're talking about. It's like in a lot of writing, that's this story. They're talking about this. Like,
yeah. You're
like
expecting.
You have to know in order to understand a lot of like everything. Like you need to know this, right? Or at least you need to know the end. Nobody cares about the middle, right? No one cares about like, oh my gosh, Hector and Ajax fought to a draw and they made have a bromance going on in the middle of the battlefield. No, that's not important.
Spoilers.
The end. Spoilers for the Iliad. Sorry. Hector and Ajax fought so hard against each other and to a draw that they got each other presents and appreciation. There you go. It's a weird side note in that story, but well, and the other big illusion is like just Helen herself, right? Like we think about that, like because she's described as being like the most beautiful person ever. And so like just like in writing, like a shorthand for a beautiful person is like Helen of Troy, right? You just like you just know what that means when somebody says that, right? I do like watching their face when I say that Paris immediately fell in love with Helen. So did what any normal Greek would do. Kidnapped her and took her back to his castle. Right.
Anyway, like, questions?
Oh no. Oh no. I see where this is going immediately. Yes. I don't like
and I don't like it. Importantly here. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Right, just say no. Just say no. So yeah, it was good.
But yeah, man, that's that I have read it, but it's been many moons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably something I need to go back and.
Yeah, that's a hard one to be like, I'm going to read that. Like I reread the like summaries frequently because I talk about just like the spots, right? And I have a little PowerPoint. It's just like pictures of important things, right? But like, well, I haven't read.
I was thinking.
I know we need to be starting to think about our summer reading list, but I'd vote no on the Iliad, right? I feel like maybe it's too.
Wow. Okay. Fine. My number one this year.
We'll put on the short list if you want, but like I'm just saying, I know
there's nothing short about the Iliad in the.
I know exactly
even the list that it goes on. But no, I was actually driving, swerving, and avoiding potholes this week. I did a lot of driving, and I was
Wild
thinking
winter
about
weather does increase the number of potholes.
it. Does indeed. Does indeed. Statistically, it's fact. Fact by fact. No, I was driving and I was thinking about the people of old and just how much more well read certain sets of them were. And like how I was listening to the biography of some, I forget who it was, and this is really bad, just shows you how much my brain has moved on from this. Of like, yeah, I graduated from school here in the United States, and this was back in the 200 years ago, where everyone was like, yeah, I graduated, or 100 years ago, where I graduated from school, and he like toured Europe, and that was a rite of passage for people from that certain sect, and like they just toured Europe and read and learned and read and learned and read, and like just how much more reading there was, and like and wide, broad reading of all sorts of literature, and like kind of coming back to what you were talking about there, of like how so many things, like yeah, when they're kind of pointing to or feigning towards this illusions and shadows, like there are all these references that like you just kind of miss out on, right? If you don't have that, and not that it's like it just it made me like really sad of like, yeah, I don't I don't read nearly broad enough at all. Like everything that they do is very narrow or focused or short, and like and to not have, because there really was a curriculum of reading, like of like, okay, first for certain, again, of like first you're going to read this book, then you're going to read this book, and like there was a pathway of reading to, so that by the time that you've read your 100th book, that it makes sense and you get it because you've read everything that came before it.
I mean, that's true, but also sometimes that can become a bit unwieldy, right? I'm thinking famously of Ulysses, right? Your boy James Joyce, where if you want to actually understand that book at all, you have to have read like 30 other books, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so
yeah, no, like, I'm not saying this is
it's
tenable.
like oops, all illusions, but like
yeah. Fair. But yes, yeah, you're right. There comes a point where it's like, okay, it's not, yeah, you can't read 30 books for every one book. You're like, that's what I want to read. Here's 30 books worth of homework to get to that. Of course, you can't do that. But just like how that sequencing of books and understanding of like how things work. Because even, I'm reading to the kids, and like we finished up the book Rackety Tam today, and it was like, oh, here's an epilogue. And I understood what was happening immediately when it was like, it was 15 seasons since Gulo the Savage had been killed by my father. That was the opening, right? And I turned to the kids and I was like, who is writing this letter? Right? Because that's that kind of that kind of writing technique and
shift.
That shift, like you got like that's a something that you kind of see, oh, this is a point of view change, right? This isn't just future casting, like there's something very subtly happening here, and that takes dissecting that and knowing and seeing little fades and shades to that prior to be able to read that one sentence and go, oh, right, okay, this is future tense written by offspring of Rackety Tam the squirrel, right? Okay, I understood.
But that is, it is abrupt, right? Go from one page to the next. It's like, blah.
Yes.
It's true. So yeah, it does make it hard, right? And again, that's kind of what, high school English is partly for, right? Because, when you're like, why do I got to read Hamlet? Like, because literally everything is a Hamlet reference. Like, I don't really know how to explain this to you. like things reference Shakespeare, things reference Greek mythology, things reference the Bible, right? Like things reference, that like that kind of stuff. Like, and so like you just you do need some sort of base to kind of like understand things, right? A very interesting connection here, right? A slightly strange one is again, I work with very interesting children, right? But a lot of them are anime enthusiasts, right? We tried on this show. It didn't really stick, but it's fine. But there is something that some of my kids watch, right? The JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, right? You heard of this particular thing, right? So this particular anime is apparently just completely full of allusions to like all kinds of things, right? Like literature and stuff and like science and everything. Because sometimes we're talking in science and one of my kids will be like, "Is that a JoJo reference?" I'm like, I think it means that the writers paid attention in science class. I think that's what it actually means. Like
right. Like I don't. That's a weird way to place this. I think JoJo was the reference.
That is true, but I think we're going the other way around. I think Plato is not a JoJo reference. I think they're referencing Plato. I think that's how this works. But like,
look, I could be wrong here, but also I think the timeline has my back on.
Yeah, like I feel like I know JoJo's like some of it's from the 80s, but Plato is older. Shakespeare is older than that, right? Like I feel like just maybe just calling out a limb here, but there's like things like that. So like even like very modern media. There's another one that they watch, and I don't remember. They talk very fast to me sometimes, and I'm not entirely sure what words they're saying. But it also references things like Poe, right? Like Edgar Allan Poe, and like stuff like that. So even there's like it's still a culture of like, even in like a modern something that you would consider like a very modern media, right? Like this is still doing that thing where they're alluding to like lots of classics, drawing from like broad ranges, like not just the Eastern cultures, but like more Western and European things too, kind of like mixing it all together in an even bigger amalgamation. So there's even more that you have to know to understand what's going on, right? Like it's very interesting.
Oh,
it is very interesting that is that they're exposed to things like that through that lens, right? Still the same idea, just like a slightly different format, but still same kind of idea, which I think is very interesting. Right? I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that some of them are actually picking up on it. That's the other part that's interesting.
Right. Well, that's the thing of like, oh, they are seeing these things, and right. So they're still learning. So there you go. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is all you need. I don't think you need a history class, is what I just learned.
Yeah, sure. I don't know if that's true or not, but still pay attention to history class, right? Still learn about Greek mythology. It's important for apparently to understand the world around you. To understand why being a Prometheus isn't a great thing. Why it could be a problem.
Additionally, no.
Why Sisyphean task is a negative. It's important.
Oh, it's uphill. Oh gosh. Well, that's good. I'm glad that they're getting references and they're being enculturated from many different aspects too. I guess
it is very interesting.
Yeah. Call that reinforcement.
Yes.
Oh, well, cool. Well, yeah. I haven't had a nearly as exciting life and times as that. I went and to my first Biz Blitz of the year. So it's,
what?
Yeah. Okay. So this is
the first thing you said. All right. Again, strange references that my brain makes. When you said Biz Blitz, the first thing I thought about was Blitz Ball from Final Fantasy X. All right, continue.
No.
Could be. It's not a weird like futuristic version of water polo. That's not what you did?
Not quite.
Okay.
Not quite. No, this is where you go to a location and it's like speed dating for businesses where everybody sets out there's tables. You sit 4 to a table. And I actually have a note in this for my big lesson from this.
Is this why you logged into your LinkedIn? Is that why you went to the Biz Blitz?
This is why I logged into my LinkedIn. So anyway, I went and you sit 4 to a table. They have them labeled A, B, C, and D. And like A, everyone always scrambles for the A position because that person stays at that table. You don't rotate. B like goes forward 1 position. C goes backward 1 position, and D moves forward 2 positions, 2 tables.
I see why you need notes for this. That's
right.
Cool.
Right. No, it's a lot. It's always very confusing. Nobody can remember where the last table is. Like, where's because they put out like an indeterminate number of tables and they fill up, or sometimes they don't. So it's like, is 12 a table?
Like there is no C. Like, oh no.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, it's like, well, who's in C and how are we gonna? And people, it's also because they don't. In the ideal context, they would have this just in a big circle, right? So that the highest numbered table, just the one after that, if you're moving sequentially higher,
yes,
after you reach that last table, it just goes to table 1. But instead, it's a big square room, and so like you've got to zigzag your way and find where 1 is and all this stuff. It's annoying. But
do they at least put like little numbers on the table?
Yes, the tables are numbered.
Okay.
And the seats are labeled with the letter that you're going to be on.
Okay, that's good too.
And at every table, it reminds you what you're supposed to do. So
that's good. But still, I'm imagining like painter's tape just like on the floor everywhere.
Right, just follow the line. Colored arrows of like here's where your standpoint, here's your mark, right? And
like backstage, right? Like duct tape.
No, yeah, somebody
stand here.
Should do to avoid the thing backdrops. But no, you go there and then like every table at each time you move. Each person sitting there has 2 minutes to talk about their business and like why they're there. And it's very interesting to go and hear people's pitch. People like to be in seat A because A, you don't move, and B, you get to talk first. Right? So people love being the first to talk. And basically, you sit down, and to save time, everybody just immediately starts passing out their business cards. I don't carry business cards. I'm me. And so I get to, with a very smug grin on my face, go, I don't have business cards, but you can scan my phone. Because I have a digital card that I had that I made.
Get with the times, bro.
Yeah. So that's fun. Because, and I take everybody's card and blah, blah. And then you get to listen to the people and what they do. And you can definitely tell the people that come there and they're like, I have one version of my 2-minute pitch for us. Like I won't say anything different. And you can hear them as they go from table to table. Like they're not changing it. This is the only thing that they say. They're just here to regurgitate the same thing every time. Those people usually sit in seat A.
Of course.
Because they're just like, they're the machine gun operators of I'm just going to spray and pray here. People are just like, blah, get it all out there. And just, that's my job done. Then you have the people who are like, well, I don't really have a pitch, but here's my card. Let me know. Talk to me.
What do you even do? I don't understand what these words mean.
Pass you this card. No, okay.
Those are the people that are like, informational design specialist.
And you're like, okay, what? These are not sponsored, but here's some of the names. Equos. Epic Strategies.
Is it horse related?
No.
See? You see?
That would be because he pronounced it Equos. It is EQUUS.
First of all, no. That's not how you pronounce that. Second of all, if you have that sounds like the root word equine to me, and it makes me think that you are a farrier, perhaps. Like I don't know.
I know. I'm so confused. Equos. The other one of just like, what do you do? Right, and it's because like this guy, he was a very nice man, but he works at Epic Strategies, and he's in business development.
Of course.
What? what do you don't do anything, do you? Like, I don't know. It's so bad. It gets worse because then some guy said, oh, and I work for TPC and I'm an HCM manager. What? So, Austin, I'm going to need you to literally break all of that down. And he was like, no, that's fine. I understand. I'm with TPC and I'm an HCM manager. And I was like, okay, anyway, moving on.
You didn't help me. So I'm just going to imagine what TPC stands for, right? Is it a toilet paper comfort? Boom. Are you in R&D for toilet paper? Is that what you do?
That's what I think this is.
Right? If you don't give me actual words, I'm just going to make up in my brain my headcanon for your job.
I'm just going to move forward at this, right? Like there's nothing that I can't do anything with that. I'm just giving away 3 here. These are my top 3. These are the worst 3 that I got. They were called
so bottom 3.
Bottom 3. And it's just ASIS or IT solutions. ACIS. ASIS. And you're like
IT solutions.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay. The more obscure the name sounds, the more you're like, the more they're like, again, epic solution, epic strategies. I'm like, you don't do anything, do you? You don't do anything. It's pointless.
Is this
drivel
a front? Like, is that what this is?
I know. I'm like, how much money laundering do you guys do? Like, now, I will say,
like that's
the winner of business names, besides ours, obviously, that's fine. Besides ours, was the company Abacus Accounting.
Abacus?
Sorry, Abacus.
Okay, Abacus. I was
Abacus.
like Bacchus, like Roman god of wine.
The reason my
problem.
A, I'm tired. B, the guy across kept saying Abacus. He kept saying Abacus, but it was like, it's Abacus Accounting. And I was like, okay, I see what you did there. I do like that.
But like you don't know how to pronounce your own name of your firm.
Yeah.
Which is embarrassing. Because again, Bacchus, Roman god of drink. Just saying.
Oh,
again,
no, what?
So allusions are important here. Again,
I think we
need to know your Roman mythology.
Mm-hmm.
We know where his head's at, right? We know.
You know what? He could probably go either way.
Right.
Depending on how his day's going. No, but I have decided that the best seat that you need to sit in is seat D. A, because you have to. I'll say, oh gosh, this is hard. 1, because
like algebra up in here.
I know. PEMDAS. So I no, but one of the reasons is because you get to move more, which means you actually get to hit a wider variety of tables that are further from each other. So not everybody is going to be. You're not going to be close to everybody where they're going to hear your pitch from across the right. So you're not sitting right next to them. I like this. I like more of the movement. Secondly, you go last in the talking, which I like because when A starts talking, they're talking to a cold table.
True.
Nobody knows anybody. Nobody knows what anybody does or anything about them, because you get somebody's card and it says epic strategies and you're like, what do you do? What, this is not helpful. Right? No.
IT solution.
Or ACIS, ACIS, IT solutions. Okay, great. Thanks.
It's like a shoe company.
I know.
Right? Well, A6 is what it sounds like.
A6 is a shoe company. So by the time you get to D, they're warmed up a little bit. They're more like talky, more jovial, more familiar. And you know exactly like what everybody does and can change your talking points to meet or connect with them on different levels. And so you can just kind of sit there and like collect data and listen and then talk, right? It's an exercise in self-control to me, because I have a hard time not over talking when people are speaking or completing their sentences but you also get to go, oh wow, like I really can lean into what that person just said, right? Like,
or if they're really ridiculous, you can be like, oh yeah, and they're like, so Colin, what do you do? Like, I'm actually a quadrupedal ambulatory specialist.
Right?
Yeah. Like, what's that mean? I walk dogs, but anyway,
no, there were several times that there were several tables where I'm listening to what people are saying, and basically just like this switch of like, okay, like I don't have any real partnership ability with anybody here at the table. Like there's no overlap in what we do or how we do things.
Yeah.
Now I'm just pitching my services to these people, right?
Oh yeah,
like
right.
direct
Yeah,
sales. Right? Versus whenever I was at a table and it was like property manager, and I was like, hey,
like, hello,
hi, let me talk to you about how I can help your people be happier living with you longer.
I can help people on your property that you manage,
right, and decrease damage and
that's true,
right, decrease damage and decrease noise complaints because the dog is getting out and walking. You don't have to worry about it barking all day.
Nice.
Right. So this is why you sit in CD.
Yeah.
Always
no additional mess because we have the bag, right? Like got him.
Right. We'll take care of everything for you. So it's it was interesting. And so I'm trying to be better. I went to 3 last year and I only ended up like really following up with one person. One guy does short-term rentals in the area. And so I was talking to him about being more pet friendly. And he did say, hey, here's my card. I never check my email. I'm really active on LinkedIn. And I was like,
oh. And Colin said, I don't remember my LinkedIn password.
I don't even know where it says I work right now.
And of course, true.
Don't even. What does it even say? So I had to go back. I had to go in and like furiously add a bunch of stuff and like add some things. And I had this is how lazy I am. In LinkedIn, it says it wants to give you that elevator pitch about you, right? That little summary. I just left all of it from when I was at the Department of Conservation talking about, my degree and my focus and statistical analysis and blah, blah. I didn't want to rewrite what I do because I don't know what I do anymore. I just, at the end of that, in parentheses, I put, I do none of this now.
Nice. Update coming. I got to talk to an IT solutions guy, and then I'll get back to you
to throw my link.
Exactly what I do.
Oh, and so I kind of like spruce it up just a little bit, added some things, and then sent him a message. But I was like, oh no. But I
think we should just make it a list of all of the things that you do, right? Including, up to and including, right? The pet specialist, right? Podcast host, right? Educator, poet. Don't forget that. Right? Just put that.
And we know it. Yeah, shining star.
Yeah.
But so that's why I was on LinkedIn. But I was trying to follow up with people, and at first I was like, "What am I going to say to this person?" Because like I don't really have an ask for here, but I do. There were some people who were like, "You know what? I decided I want to just go in and talk to people if there's a genuine like way I can connect or whatever." And there were again the property managers. I was like, I am going to be calling you. But then there were other people where it was like, you're doing something really cool, and like I'm just going to email you and say like, hey, it was great getting connected, learning about your interior design business. I loved the breakfast nook. Keep up the awesome work, right? Like that's what all my emails were this evening. I'm just basically like,
nice.
Like you're doing cool stuff. Or there was a new a chiropractor there. She had just graduated in December and had just gotten hired on at a practice and was like brand new into chiropractic care and was like nervous and unsure and stuff. And I was like, look, like, so I wrote her a story of like how obviously I've never used her chiropractic, but just like how chiropractic care has helped us and like how we think it's really cool and like glad that she's doing that and glad there's more people like her in the area, and kudos to you. Like I was like, I don't really want to be, I just wanted to encourage people this today. And I think that's probably just because I felt really like this past week because of whatever's going on and like things happening. It's like, I'll just tell people they're doing a cool job and doing cool stuff. And that'll be my role. I'll be encourager today and say, good job, keep doing it, and best of luck. Right? Or like, because there was a guy that was talking. He's in construction. He just remodels, and I was like, how's the market? And he was like, the worst it's been in 10 years. And I was like, oh, what? Then he was like, yeah, there was an initial bump up of expansion of new homes, but now that's contracting. And then what happens when when new home construction contracts, then there's a big bump in remodels, right? Because people
aren't moving, but
but then that continues to drop if there's a continuous slide. And so that's what they're seeing. He was like, yeah, we do new homes and remodels. And so both sides of his business are being like cut out. And I went onto his website, and they were highlighting aspects that they're really proud of. And one of them is staircases. Like apparently they like love designing staircases. So and it was like staircases, cabinets, something else. And I was like, hey, I was on your website. I was like, hey, great getting connected with you. Interesting to hear about the state of the housing industry. I went to your website. You guys do some amazing staircases. Love all that work that you do. Keep going. Cheers. Right. Because I just thought, in the context of business world and business people, I have a stack of cards 2 inches thick, and I don't know how many of them, how many people these days, I know you and I have talked about this on this podcast, of like who comes alongside you and tells you like, great work, like you're doing cool stuff or whatever. Like it happens kind of when you're in school. And then maybe if you've got a neat boss or manager, like that comes around you, but then that just slowly disappears more and more from your life. And talking to other business owners or people in banking or whatever, or engineering or sales or whatever a business development person does, or a tow truck operator, it's like, I can't do a whole lot, but I figured I would spend my time writing some weird emails to people telling them that your passion for excellence is excellent. Great. Because I had intentions to sit down and make like this email that was like, during our conversation of your revamp of your upcoming property, I heard you mention that you were looking for insights into how to make it more pet friendly, and I'd love an opportunity to come by and share with you some of what we've learned that makes a great pet friendly patio and blah 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 blah. Like, oh my gosh, that's gross. I'm just gonna say congratulations on your promotion to property manager. I know you've only been in a couple months, but sounds like you're off to the great start. So cheers. Right? Like just like that, I don't know. Like I don't know what I'm doing, but I just started to write that first email and I felt really gross. Again, linking back to my experience with the email saying, hey, I noticed this is an email from the company you just unsubscribed from emails about emails, and I wanted to let you know that we received that, so we sent you an email to confirm that. But if it was an accident, click the button in the email. I was like, marketers ruin everything. And
true. Or that was the IT solutions guy. You never know. He might have come up with that.
Personally, he sends that. He just hits that button.
That does sound like informational technology to me. So maybe that's an IT guy,
Dave,
or corporate solutions specialist. Like,
I'm okay. It's Dale. His name's Dale. He's very.
Oh dear.
IT. So always sit in seat D, so you can listen to other people and send out you're doing cool stuff emails. That was my lesson over the past 2 days. So
very nice.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it says good lessons, right? Just general encouragement. It's very nice, right? It's very good.
I try. This was held in. I'll send you a link to this place. I may have talked about it before, but it's in this new like luxury living complex where they don't call the renters. Well, they don't call them renters. They call them tenants. They don't call them tenants. They don't call them clients. They call them members. Yeah. He wanted to design it as a cruise ship on land. One where it is designed and currently being implemented such that their members never have to leave for anything at all. The gym is on site. The movie theater is on site. The instructors and yoga classes and baristas at the 24-hour coffee bar downstairs are on site. The hair, nail, and salon is on site. When you live there, you get your 3 meals a day cooked by a chef.
What?
Every day. And it's all for one price. The wildest part about this, and this is probably not going to seem too wild, but every room in the thing has 14-foot tall ceilings. Everything is 14-foot tall everywhere, except in the main atrium that's like 20-foot tall ceilings or more than that. It's huge.
That is kind of weird, right? It's a really weird. It's a really high ceiling just everywhere.
Huge high ceilings in every apartment. Like is massive. They have floor to ceiling glass windows and everything. But this should tell you a lot about this.
It's your heating bill. What the heck?
They're in the hallway. So you're walking in the hallways, and there's these huge hallways. And every so often you notice this little door right next to the floor, and it's like 3 feet high, 2 feet wide, and it's got a lock on it. And you're like, what is? And it's like on each side of the hallways you're walking down. Okay, you go into the apartment because I did a tour because I want to walk these people's dogs.
I mean, yeah, obviously.
I want to walk these people's dogs. So they gave me a tour, and you walk into the apartment, and most of them all of them you come in, and the kitchen is immediately on your right, and it's this little like kind of this gorgeous galley kitchen with marble countertops and everything. And she pulled out the trash door and said, "Your trash sits in here. And when you close it, they have access to the trash from the outside so that you don't even have to touch your trash bag. They just come twice a week and take it out of your trash bin directly and replace it with a fresh bag." And what? And it just disappears because they're in the hallway. So they're walking in the hallway. They unlock that little cabinet. They open it up. When they unlock it in the hallway, it locks it from the inside. So they can't just like squeeze their way in and go raid your apartment. And then they can tip the trash bucket towards them, pull out the bag, put it in their trash bin, refresh the bag, and then push it back into your apartment. And you open it up the next day and your trash has just vanished.
Like, what?
Yeah.
This is some like weird cyberpunk reality nonsense, right? Like where they missed the memo of like, it's weird when this happens. They're like, no, it's cool. Like I'm getting like dystopian vibes, right? Like very like Stepford Wives meets like Wall-E meets like
the Wall-E aspect. And so they their membership, what's her name? She's the membership director. Because not sales director and not office manager or not property manager.
Yeah, not property manager.
Membership director. Membership director.
Of course.
Their clientele.
I believe they're clientele. If they're like this, right? I believe they pronounce it like an obnoxious 80s movie salesman. Right? I believe that's what happens. The guy that tries to negotiate with Hans Gruber. They talk like that guy.
Yes. The auto playing baby grand piano in the atrium when you walk in, and the marble flooring are tinkling away. And you go and
it's really
talk to the membership director, and she's working with people who are downsizing from 7,000 square foot homes, 14,000 square foot homes to come live here. And I was like, what are you finding these people are doing? And she said, it's the craziest thing. They pay for this all-inclusive resort lifestyle, and then they're never here. That is
weird. Yeah, that's weird.
They're just not. They travel everywhere because they can, because they don't have to worry about getting food or it spoiling or anything like that. They don't have to worry about anything. All the TV is paid for, all the utilities are included. Like, it's this weird.
Wow.
And a 2-bedroom apartment. Now now I'm going to tell you this price.
I don't want to know this.
You don't.
I'm going to die.
No, you don't. You don't. But I talked with her about this, of like, because again, I'm also trying to learn from them as well, because we don't sell this level of premium service, but like, it's a premium service. And so I asked her, I said, so what does it cost to live here? And she goes, that is obviously the biggest stumbling block that we have to come over. But what we have to recognize is that I'm not selling them a square foot apartment. They don't even talk about square footage anywhere, because that's not the important. You go to any other apartment complex, and that there's a 2-bedroom, 700 square foot apartment. It's like, it's all about size and room.
Yeah.
They are obviously all about like lifestyle and amenities and access.
Yes.
Right. And so if you want a 2-bedroom apartment, I don't know, whatever it's called, it's $5,500 a month. Yeah. Yeah. A 2-bedroom.
This is Manhattan? What the heck?
It does come with washer and dryer.
Good. Oh my God.
Wild, huh? Wild.
Oh my
this place.
Lord.
And she was like, but what she does is she'll actually have them sit down and go, okay, how much are you currently paying for your mortgage plus your insurance? Okay, well, let's figure that in. How much are you paying on food and utilities? Because again, these people are living in like 7,000 square foot apartment complex or houses and larger. Let's talk about your utilities. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how yours. Now, what if we had all of that already included? And these people are going, oh, that's a steal. I'm going, what? How is that even possible? And that's what she has worked with. And she has to court people. So it's she said usually it's like 6 months before.
Oh yeah.
As people are making this thing, they've partnered with some of the huge national and international corporations that are based out of town to offer this as part of their compensation package to their C-suite executives.
Oh my Lord.
Yes. Yep. It's wild.
Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. My brain's broken, right? Like, I just don't.
Yeah. And it's just it's a whole different way. I sent you the link to this place. And you can take a virtual tour, you can learn about their dining, you can learn about their amenities. But when you like look at all this stuff, okay, like putting green, they have a full like library, game lounge, craft room. It's wild. This what they're charging. So anyway, originally they were designed to be for 55 plus, but what they found was there were a lot of millennials and that crowd who were like, you know what, I'm an executive, and I don't want to. I've rented all of my life. I don't want to go get a home right now. I don't need it. So I would like to live here. And they did. They are.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Right?
Good night. That is crazy.
Mm-hmm. You first walk into this thing. Again, it's like a cruise ship. You walk in this super tall, and the front doors, as you approach them, there's these huge double doors, big glass and steel doors. They open up automatically as you approach, based off of a sensor. And so, like, again, it's very much a, you don't even, it literally is a, you don't touch anything while you're here. Like, we take care of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the immediate feeling you get walking into this place. It's wild.
Oh, okay. That's a weird spot for that too. I was not expecting that to be where that was.
Right?
That's really kind of wild, right? Like, what in the world? I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. Would not expect it to be there, and on that side of town. Would
No, I did not. It's like right. Yeah, I was like, where is this? And I saw the map finally. Like, what in the world? Just stuck back in there in the. That is too crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, it's
Yeah.
it's wild. But it's,
Wow.
you know, right in little old Queen City.
Yeah. Right? Just stuck in a random corner of Springfield. Who knew?
Who knew?
Yeah. Not me. Weird. That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Well. All right. My brain is officially cooked. I don't really know how to. That is just so weird. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I mean, it's really not that different from like a country club type situation, right?
Yep.
It kind of reminds me of that vibe, right? But just like more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's like what if it was a country club, but like extra, right? That's what it reminds me of, kind of.
Cranked to
Like,
11.
Yeah. The country club experience cranked to 11. Good way to think about that. It's just so, man, my brain. It's nuts.
It
Absolutely
takes
nuts.
Yeah. It's a very interesting place. And
it wasn't too far off with the Wally comparison. I really I got
no. Yeah. It's I see, anyway, the place is just, it's still very new. I think it's less than a year old.
Yeah, it looks pretty new.
And they are not they're not yet to 50% capacity. It's a slow build.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's got to be a kind of a hard sell, right? That's a very limited demographic, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you're targeting there. Oh, sorry. I mean, clientele. Members, of course. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sir.
But man, wow. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. Like, I can't. Wow. Really.
Wow. Cool.
Wow. Yeah, it's something. I don't know. Ugh.
So, I mean, yeah, that's what we got to go see there. And it was interesting because the lady was like, hey, good to see you again. Because I'm trying to, the reason I try and go to this Biz Blitz stuff is because I met the membership director at a Biz Blitz. And so as she was talking, I was just staring her down. And then when it came to my turn, I started talking and she was staring me down. And she was like, we need to talk when you're done. We need to talk now that I'm
okay.
done. So it's good to catch up. And ever since then, it was been big tease of like, do we have pencil your name on a place, And I'm like, no.
Like,
No.
yeah, to walk their dog.
No, I should try and negotiate. I will be your in-house. Like I will personally walk people's dogs and take care of the cats if you give me I don't know $5,000 discount. I don't know. Let's say that I'll do it I'll take care of their pets for free.
Oh man,
if you cut out this,
sizable chunk of.
I'm a very reasonable chunk, I guess.
Oh yes, yes.
So yeah, you can. That's something you can sleep on tonight.
Oh yeah, yes, because teacher salaries definitely allow for this sort of
this is amenities. Everybody's always known this.
Oh, better hope this poetry book sells a lot of units.
I know, right?
Yeah. It's okay. Speaking of, to wrap up this week's endeavor, right, to mend my brain from this just like traumatic event that has occurred, this glimpse into dystopia.
It's very pretty. Marble everywhere. There's
it always is
marble.
I bet it better be real marble, right? It better not be in that fake Missouri marble.
Oh gosh,
like actually just limestone.
No, hold on.
Right? Like it's
hold on. No. I'm going to dredge from the depths of my brain. I was told how much they spent building this apartment complex. $55 million.
Oh, I bet.
Or more. Yeah. It's some astronomical number of what's like, what? Okay. I'm going to sit over here. Anyway.
Yeah. Better be real marble. Better be like all the wood. It better not be like walnut. Right?
Yeah.
It better be
mahogany.
Like mahogany. Ebony. Right?
Yes.
Like Brazilian rosewood. Right? Like,
all of it.
All of the great, like bird's eye maple, like the fancy stuff right now. There's like plain Jane, not like pine. There'll be no pine in here.
There will be.
Get out.
Shall be. No pine.
Oh, well, there's a bit of a change of pace, right? Perhaps we'll slow down for this haiku.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shall we?
Ready?
Yep.
I think we shall. Are you ready?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Jurassic reptile. Leisurely moving through time. Outliving us all.
Oh, kind of ended on a sour note at the bottom there.
It's a little vague, right?
No, I see what you're going there. It's also true, but
yeah, but is it a warning? Do they know more than they're letting on? Right? What are these? The tortoise is keeping the secret from us, right? We don't know.
I think we know. Yeah. What is?
There you go.
Yes, this is a veiled threat. Only they'll know, and
only they'll know, and they won't tell you.
No.
There you go.
Unfortunately, I love it. Okay. Very good. Very good. See episode 231. It weathered really hard.
That's true.
About what the haiku actually means.
To learn more about why we talked about tortoises for a very long time.
Yes. We had to put too long. Okay.
Another bit of a shocking moment, actually. 2 back-to-back shockers from Colin here. We got.
I'll try and I'll keep digging. I'll do my best. Also crazy to note, we're coming up on 4.5 years. 4.5 years.
Wow, really?
Worth of episodes. Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Oh.
Yeah, wild. Yeah. We're on episode, according to my very highly inaccurate counting, I think we're on episode 200. This is episode 232.
Wow.
So do something.
Yeah. Something indeed.
Something. but we'll take our time, and just like our friendly, leisurely moving reptiles, we will put thought and consideration to it, or forget about it entirely and rush at the last minute to get it.
Mostly that one.
Mostly that one. We'll stay true to form till the end.
Yes. Right. We don't want to switch it up on you now.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Which the turtles will see, since they'll be around here forever.
True. They'll hold us accountable.
Oh gosh, this is getting okay. Yeah, between that and your dystopian future of Wall-E. Okay, well, we'll go pull the ripcord on this one, and we'll
appease our tortoise overlords.
Indeed. I'll go grab some lettuce. Until then,
all right.
love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.